Hi students, hope you all are doing good. Okay, so today we will continue with the chapter electric charge and fields. And as I told you last class, today we are going to start a new topic, and the name of the topic is electric flux. Okay, so let me write the name here, electric flux. So the word electric, already we have some idea, right? The word flux means what? Okay, the word flux means flow. Okay, so the word flux means flow. Okay, so outward flow. So this is the meaning of the word flux. Okay, so imagine, before I give you definition of electric flux and before I give you formula for electric flux, let us try to understand the heart of what is going on, why we have to study this topic. Okay, so imagine there is some tube. Okay, and in this tube water is running this way. Okay, water is moving this way. Okay, so now in this flow of water, let me consider a surface which is like this. So this is your cross sectional area of the tube, right? If this is the tube, then this is called what kind of area? Cross section area. So if I see from here, from this side, if I see, then I can see water is flowing out of this area, right? Water is flowing out of this area. Okay, so in that case we can say there is a flow of water, or we can now use the word flux of water. Okay, so there is a flux of water through which surface I have taken? This surface. So through this surface. Okay, similarly, let me give you another way of thinking. So imagine there is a door like this. Okay, big door, and then people are coming out like this. Okay, so they are coming out like this. Okay, so in this case, if you see from here, you can see there is a outward flow of people. There is a flow of people, but through which area now? This area or this surface. So one thing is very clear, whenever you speak about flux, okay, which is outward flow, so here we can say there is a flux of people. There is a flux of people coming out through this surface. Okay, students. So sorry, so whenever you speak about flux, okay, there has to be a surface always in the uh, as you mentioned the flux, there has to be a surface mentioned. So whenever there is flux of something, it is through some surface, through some surface. So keep this in mind. Okay, so whenever you speak about flux, don't say flux of something is this much. How you should say? Flux of something, it could be flux of water, flux of people, but you should not stop there. You should say flux of water through some surface. Here, through some surface. So this word through some surface. So that surface has to be defined when you speak about when you speak about flux. Now in this chapter, what is moving out? Because when water flows like this through a pipe, we can speak about water flux. When people come out like this, we can speak about people flux or flux of people passing through this surface. Okay, so in this case, what do you think in this chapter? What do you think is moving out? Some students may be thinking charge. No, students. In this chapter, we are studying charges at rest. So charge is not moving out, obviously. Charge is not moving out. So do not think about it. Is not charge of, it is not a flux of charge. So charges are at rest only. But what is moves out is, if you have a plus charge, then how does you draw electric field lines radially outwards? Yes or no? So in a way, you can think these lines are moving out from positive charge and they go to which charge? Negative charge. Understood? So if I consider some area here, some area like this, you can speak about flux of this electric field. Flux of electric field passing through this surface. Just like here, it was flux of water passing through this surface, flux of people passing through this surface, and this is flux of this electric field which is passing through this red surface which I have shown. So that is what is the meaning of electric flux. So when lines of electric field pass through a surface, okay, pass through as through, okay, it should be through like this. Here I cannot show because my hand is a real object, no, so these areas are imaginary. So if you have some imaginary surface and lines of electric field are cutting the surface like this, if this is the surface and lines are cutting like this, then we speak about electric flux through that surface. Now think, if these people were not walking like this, but they were walking this way, okay, these are very stupid people, by the way. Okay, if you want to come out of the door, if this is the door and you want to come out, you should walk like this, no? If you walk like this, then what will happen? You will hit the other side. Understood, no? So in this case, when people are walking parallel to the surface, when people are walking, then in that case we don't speak about flux, because in that case there is no outward flow. Yes or no? If people are going that way, how can I say there is outward flow of people? There will be outward flow of people, matlab there will be flux if people cut the surface this way. But if they walk parallel to the surface, then we cannot speak of flux here. Similarly, here also something like that will happen. As we keep studying, you will come to know. So I hope everybody got the main concept behind this word flux. Okay. So now we will discuss how to give formula to this quantity. Okay, what formula this quantity should have. Now I can I can directly give you the formula for electric flux through some surface. Again and again I am telling, whenever you talk about electric flux, you have to speak in terms of some surface. Okay, so when lines of electric field pass through some surface, then we say there is flux, electric flux through that surface. But that is okay. How do you define? Okay, how do you give it a mathematical form? Because unless you give mathematical form, then we will not be able to calculate. And if we are not able to calculate, in a way it is useless in physics, right? Because in physics we only discuss physical quantities which can be measured. Because once you measure, you can then do experiments to check whether the formula you have invented is right or wrong. Understood? No? So that is the whole idea behind having physical quantities. So first, since it is a physical quantity, let us decide for a symbol for this. The symbol for flux is phi. Okay, so this symbol we use phi, and since it is representing the how many lines pass through the surface, it has to be a scalar quantity. So it is a scalar quantity. So flux is a scalar quantity, not a vector quantity. Okay, so this first thing you try to remember. Now, how do I describe formula for this? Okay, so to create formula for this, think carefully here. Imagine I give you uniform electric field. How do you draw uniform electric field? Equidistant parallel lines. Okay, so one electric field looks like this and one electric field looks like this. Now tell me, in which case, first case or second case, in which case electric field is stronger? Electric field is more. In which case? First case or second case? First case, right? Why? Because I have shown you more lines which are closer and here they are farther. Correct? No? Okay. So here your electric field is more compared to here. Now let me imagine some area like this, some surface like this. Same surface I have taken. Can you tell me where will be more flux of electric field? Remember, flux is a measure of how many lines pass through the surface perpendicularly. Remember, I told you, take the example of people. So when people come out through the door, if they come out perpendicularly, then we say there is a maximum flux. But if they walk parallel to the door, if this is the door and if they walk parallel to the door, then there is no flux. So flux in a way represents how many people cut this surface perpendicularly. If more number of people cross, we will say there is more flux. And if less number of people cross, we will say there is less flux. And if no people are crossing, they are just moving parallel, then we say there is no flux. Okay. So in which case do you think electric flux will be more? First case or second case? First case, because there are two lines passing through this. Here there is only one line passing. Matlab here flux will be more. So here flux is more, here flux is less. But you know here what is more? Electric field is more because lines are closer. So that means flux should have in the formula electric field. Okay. See, I'm trying to in a way create the formula. I could have given you formula directly, but then it will not be very meaningful. You will not understand how that formula in a way comes. Okay. So if the lines are closer, you can see there will be more flux compared to that surface. Here flux will be more compared to here. And that is the reason is here electric field is more. Lines are closer. So therefore flux should be proportional to electric field. Okay, fine. Now let me not take another electric field. Let me keep electric field same now here only. But let me take a bigger surface. A bigger surface. So this surface has area, let's say A1. This surface has area A2. So in which surface more lines are passing through? Bigger one obviously. So if the door is bigger, more people can come out. That means flux will also be proportional to what is the area of the surface. If area is more, more lines will pass. If more lines will pass, that means what? Flux will be more. So it should be proportional to area also. Okay. Now listen carefully the third argument. Okay, which I am going to make now. So now imagine I give you electric field lines which look like this. I am taking for simplicity right now uniform electric field. Okay, so this is one electric field and let me take another same electric field here also. So I have tried to draw both of them as same electric field. Now here let me take the surface this way. Okay, so here the surface is this way. Okay, so if you consider my mobile as a surface here, so this is like this. Okay, it is kept like this. Okay, here let me keep it this way, like this. So here I am keeping the surface like this. Okay, now tell me quickly here what is the flux? Is the flux zero or do you think it is maximum? Here lines are cutting like this. So if you see from here, you see there is a maximum flow of electric field lines through this surface. So we say here flux is maximum. Here if you see, okay, here if you see, this is like people walking parallel to the surface. So if the electric field lines are parallel to the surface, what will be the flux? Zero. So here flux is zero, here flux is maximum. Now look carefully. Here also electric field is there. These red lines represent what? Electric field only, no electric field lines. And that also uniform. So here everywhere electric field is E, here everywhere electric field is E. So E is there. Yes or no? E is there. This has some area. This has also some area. So area is also there. But in this case flux is zero. In this case flux is maximum. Matlab, you cannot stop the definition of flux here. If you stop here, then what it means? It means flux depends only on E and A, electric field and area. And if electric field is there in both the case, area is there in both the case. So flux should be there in both the case according to this formula. But we know from our understanding of flux, here flux should be zero. So some extra thing should be here. Okay, so let us try to find that extra thing. Now here, if you look carefully students, this surface, okay, so this surface which I have taken, here the surface was kept like this. So that time the flux was maximum. Then when I turn the surface from here, when I keep it here like this, what is the flux? Zero. That means flux does not depend only on the value of the area, but it also depends on the orientation of the area, meaning how you keep the area. So let me take little bigger surface. So how you keep the area. So it depends on that also. How you keep the area. How you keep means here the orientation. So for this reason students, for this reason we treat area actually as a vector quantity. So let me discuss this somewhere here, okay? So look carefully. We consider area as a vector quantity. Area of plane surface. This is plane surface. Okay, for curved surface it becomes little complicated. I will discuss little bit later. But for plane surface, okay, for plane area can be taken as vector. Now, if you take it as a why, see, just now I told you, no, depending on how you keep the area. So, how you keep the area means, see, the magnitude. Magnitude means the length and the breadth. If you multiply length and breadth, you will get the value of area. That value matlab magnitude. So, here also area is same. Here also area is same. Length into breadth. If I take same surface, area will be same. But you know the answer for flux is different. That is because the area depends on direction, how you keep it. So that's why people consider area as vector quantity. Now, if something is vector, it should have magnitude and direction. Yes or no? So the magnitude of this area vector, magnitude will be the formula for the area, right? Whatever area formula it has. If it is a rectangle, length into breadth will be the magnitude. If it is circle, pi r square. If it is square, side square. If it is triangle, half into base into height. So magnitude of the area vector will be nothing but the area itself. What about direction? So the best way to give direction to this surface is by giving an arrow perpendicular to the surface. Why? See, if I move this arrow, see what happens to this surface, right? It changes. So the orientation of this can be described by giving this vector, which is perpendicular to the surface. Understood or not? So area is considered as a vector whose direction is taken normal to the surface. Normal to the surface. Okay, normal to the surface of whichever area you have taken. Is it clear, students? So now look carefully, come back here. Where is electric field line? Electric field is this side. So this arrow represents your electric field, this E. This surface has area A. Now I am going to take this A as a vector quantity. So direction where we will choose it normal to the surface. Normal here means not opposite of abnormal. Normal here means geometry. In geometry, what does the word normal mean? Perpendicular. So perpendicular to what? To the surface which you have chosen. So if you draw perpendicular to this surface, this will be the area vector. So this will be the area vector. Okay. And this will be your electric field vector. So now if I give angle between these two as theta, don't confuse with phi. Okay. Phi is a symbol used for electric flux in this chapter. Theta I am using for angle between electric field and area vector. So can you tell me what is the angle between these two arrows? Electric field is here, area vector is here, right? So electric field lines are going like this. Surface I have chosen like this. Area vector, how do we draw direction? Normal to the surface. So if this is the surface, you draw normal. So you can see area vector and electric field vector are in same direction. So what is the angle between these two vectors? 0 degree. Correct now? Here, where will be the area vector? In this case, where is the area vector? So when the area was like this was your area vector. So when you keep the surface like this, area vector will be out. So area vector will be out here, right? Electric field is on the board. Area vector is perpendicular to the board. So what will be the angle between this arrow and this arrow? This angle is how much? 90 degree, right? So angle between E and A in this diagram is 90 degree. And what is the flux? Already I told 0. When angle is 0 degree, flux is maximum. When angle is 90 degree, flux is 0. So now you have found what you should put here. So what you should put here? Sine or cos? When angle is 90 degree, flux is 0. So you have to put, this should be 0 when angle is 90 degree. No students, this should be 0 when angle is 90 degree. Angle between whom? this E bar and this A bar. So you must put cos or sine? Cos, because cos of 90 degree will be 0 now. So this is the formula for electric flux through a what kind of surface? Plane surface, kept in what kind of electric field? Uniform electric field. Okay, so hope you all understood this. So you have to put cos theta. Okay, not just, you cannot stop just EA. When can you write just EA? When it is this situation. If the surface is kept perpendicular to the lines. If this is the surface and it is kept perpendicular to the lines, then the area vector will be parallel to the lines. Yes or no? Because area vector is, how do you draw area vector? Perpendicular to the surface, like this. Okay, so if electric field lines are also here, then angle between this vector and these lines of electric field, that will be 0. Okay, so now if you look at this formula, you know from your first PU knowledge of vectors that AB cos theta can be also written as A bar dot B bar, dot product. You please revise. And what is theta? Angle between A bar and B bar. Here if you check carefully, theta is angle between E bar, electric field, and area vector. Again and again I am telling you, area vector, how do you draw direction of area vector? Perpendicular to the surface. Okay, so this is angle between these two. So I can also write flux as E bar dot A bar. Okay, since theta is angle between E bar, electric field vector, and area vector. Okay, and how do you draw area vector? Here I have explained to you, right? Normal to the surface. Okay. So since we have now understood how to write the formula for electric flux, okay, let me define electric flux for you in a physical way. Physical way means not formula. I will use some words. Okay, so you can make a note. So electric flux is a electric flux. Okay, so electric flux is a measure of number of electric field lines passing through a surface perpendicularly. So if the lines pass perpendicularly to the surface, then we say there is maximum electric flux. And we define electric flux is a measure of the number of electric field lines. So if more number passes through the surface, we say electric field flux is more. I'm not adding equal to. It is a measure. See, your pocket money is a measure of your father's salary, right? More salary usually means more pocket money. Similarly, more lines passing through the surface means more electric flux. Okay, so electric flux is a measure of number of electric field lines which pass through the surface perpendicularly. If it passes parallelly, then there is no flux. Okay, so this is the word definition, and mathematical definition I have given to you. So let us write it once more. But now you must remember that whatever I did, whatever formula I gave you, it is for uniform electric field. So if electric field is uniform, then electric flux through a plane surface is given by what formula I wrote? EA cos theta. In some textbooks they also write ES cos theta. So for area you can write A, or sometimes you can write S. That is your wish, doesn't matter. Okay students, see, I have not given you directly the formula students. I have made you understand why E should be there, where A should be there. So one quickly revision if I do. If E is more, then what it means? Lines are closer. If lines are closer and you take some area, then more flux will be there. Because flux is a measure of how many lines pass through the surface. If more lines pass through the surface, more will be your flux. So this is proportional to electric field, we understood. Of course, area, if area is bigger, then more lines will pass, so flux will be more. And then I told you it also depends how you keep the area, right? And for that reason theta also sits here. And don't forget, theta is angle between this and this. Okay, electric field vector and area vector, this theta. And how do you draw area vector? Perpendicular to the surface. Okay, now what are the keywords? The keywords is here. To use this formula, the key thing you should remember is the field should be uniform. The field should be uniform and the surface should be plane surface. The surface should be plane surface. Okay, then only we can use this definition. Okay, fine. If you are thinking why like that, then the obvious answer is if electric field is not uniform, then it will be different at different points. If it is different, then which E will you write here? Similarly, if the surface is not plane, if it is curved, so let us say I take a surface which looks like this, okay, like this, then you don't have a fixed direction. No, for this part, where will be the area vector? Here. For this part, where will be area vector? Here, no, perpendicular. For this part, it will be here. So you will not be able to decide which theta to write, because at different parts of this surface, theta is different. So you cannot write this formula for the whole surface. Yes, you can write this formula for this surface, because this part is flat, this part is plane. No, so you can use this formula for this surface, then you can use this formula for this surface, then you can use this formula for the third surface, and then you can add. Why add? Because this is scalar quantity, and remember it can be negative also because cos theta is there, right? So we will see that later. But you cannot write this formula for the whole surface, because the whole surface doesn't have one direction of area vector. Understood? No. So in order to be a vector, you should have a unique direction. So if you take plane surface, it will have one unique area vector, right? If you take a plane surface, then it will have area vector like this everywhere. No. But if it is curved surface, okay, I don't have anything to show you curved surface right now. So you have to imagine, if I have a curved surface like this, then here area vector will be like this, here area vector will be perpendicular like this, right? So area vector will be in different directions, so it will not be unique for the whole surface. Okay, fine. So this is how we find electric flux for plane surface. Okay, please remember this formula is for plane surface and the field should be uniform. Now every time things will not be like this. No, sometimes electric field will be non-uniform. In case of dipole, you know that as you move from one point to another point, electric field changes, right? And for point charge also, electric field is inversely proportional to distance square. So that time also your electric field will change. So every time your field will not be uniform. Then how will we define electric flux? So I have given you word definition also, and I have given you mathematical definition. But mathematical definition is only true for what kind of surface? I told you, plane surface and uniform electric field. So if electric field is non-uniform and surface is curved, okay, surface is curved, then how will we calculate electric flux? Okay, so how will you measure electric flux? That is my question. Okay, so look carefully. So let me take an example. Let me take a curved surface like this umbrella. Some umbrella you think, okay, some surface like this. Now electric field may be something like this, okay, maybe. So let's say electric field is like this. So this is your electric field line. Okay, so here you can see electric field is not uniform. If it is uniform, it should be equidistant parallel lines. So here my electric field is diverging, right? Which means here electric field is weaker, here it is stronger, right? Okay. So now, and let me show you some more electric fields. Okay, here like this, maybe here like this. So now look carefully. Now for this surface, directly you cannot write EA cos theta. That formula you cannot use here directly. Why? Because different part of this surface will have area vector in different direction. Have you seen football? Football is made up of small plane surfaces. So you take small like this plane surface like this, many like that, and then you stitch it, and then you will make it round. Understood or not? So if your football looks like this, then here the normal will be like this. Area vector will be like this for this part. For this part it will be here. For this part it will be here. For this part it will be here. Right? So all these are area vector, which is perpendicular to the surface. This surface, this surface, this surface, this surface. Understood or not? So all these lines, if you extend, will meet at the center. Similarly, area vector here will be like this. 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 So all these are what? Directions of area vector, but not for the whole sphere. One whole sphere will not have a unique direction, but this small part will have some. This small part can be taken like a plane surface, right? Yes or no? I just told you that using these plane surfaces, small plane surfaces, they will stitch and make a round surface, right? So though I know this surface is not plane, this is umbrella. Umbrellas are hardly plane, no? So since this is not flat, since this is not plane or flat, I cannot directly use EA cos theta formula. But I can imagine this surface to be made up of small parts. So what you do, you divide this into small parts like this. Okay, now if you take one small part, okay, or here on the top, if you take, so that will have some area vector perpendicular to this surface. And that area vector I will not write A bar, because A I will use for the whole area. So for this small part I will write as dA. So what is dA? Area vector for one small part. And at that point there will be some electric field. At that small area there will be some electric field here. This is your E bar, let's say. And there will be some angle between E bar and dA bar. That angle there I have written theta. Somewhere here, students, your dA will be somewhere else. Here electric field will be different from here because it is non-uniform electric field. And angle also may change. But listen carefully. But for this small part, if I choose here, small part, this small part if I choose. See, in exam you don't have to draw diagram, just formula you have to write. So don't worry. So if you choose a small part here, that small part I can consider as plane. Yes or no? See, earth is round or not? Earth is round. But cricket pitch is round, huh? Cricket pitch? No, cricket pitch is flat. But cricket pitch is on the surface of earth only. Then why it is flat? Because it is a small part of curved surface. So if you choose a very small part of this curved surface, that small part can be treated like a plane surface. And since it is plane surface, now you can use the formula for plane surface. What was the formula? E A, but this A is a small area. So dA cos theta. What is theta? Angle between E and dA. EA bar and dA bar. Now you may think, sir, but electric field is non-uniform. No. For small part, I can assume electric field is constant. See, from here to here, if you go, obviously electric field is changing. But if I take a very small area, then that area is so small that within that area, I can treat electric field is constant. Understanding or not? See, I know your height has changed. From the time you were born till today, your height has changed. But for a small interval of time, I can assume your height remained constant, like that only. For small area, I can consider the electric field to be constant. Though actually from here to here, if you go, area electric field is changing. Understood? No? Okay. So I can use this formula of electric flux through a plane surface. This formula which I wrote before, EA cos theta. Now I am writing E dA cos theta. What is dA? Is area of a small part of this surface. Okay. And since will this be the total flux? No, this will be only flux through this small part. So you can write this as d phi. So this d phi represents what? Small flux. Which flux? Electric flux through small surface of area dA. Okay. So this d phi represents a small flux through this small part of this area of this surface. Then suppose I want total flux. So net flux through the surface. If I call this surface S, just a name I am giving, then what will be the net flux? You have to integrate this E dA cos theta, and the integration will be done over all dA. So what this all dAs mean? All dAs mean you have to calculate this flux. This is the formula for what, students? Flux through small area, right? So then you go to next area, find the flux. Then you go to next area. Then you go to next area. Like that you keep doing this for the whole surface. So this integration is done over whole surface. Over whole surface. Okay, but in exam while writing you don't have to mention this, but you should know where are you doing the integration. No, so this is the formula for finding net flux, integration of E dA cos theta. Is it clear? Okay, fine. Now since we know formula for flux through plane surface also and flux through curved surface also, let me explain to you something about direction of area vector. Okay, so I told you how we find direction of area vector. I told you perpendicular to the surface, right? But there is a slight confusion. Suppose I take a plane surface. This is a plane surface. Okay, is it open or closed? It is open, no? Yes or no? It's open, no? This surface is open. It is closed means, it should be like the surface should be close to itself like this, or it could be a cube also. So this is a plane surface which is open. Now for open surfaces, if I ask you to draw area vector, then how we should draw area vector? I told perpendicular to the surface, but there is a confusion. Some of you may say here, and some of you may say for the same surface. Some of you may say, no sir, I don't want there, I want here. Right? So in that case, which one is right, which one is wrong? Then we cannot decide. Any one can be right, any other one can be wrong. So that doesn't matter. You can either do this or do this. That doesn't matter, because there is no reason to prefer. There is no reason to say this, because left and right are symmetrical. No, there is symmetry between left and right. So why there should be some reason why you are saying area vector is here. There is no reason. So therefore you can also take it here, but it should be perpendicular to the surface. That has a reason, right? Because if you make area vector perpendicular to the surface, then when you change the area vector, this vector, then you can see the orientation also changes. And that was the reason why we wanted area to be vector, because we know when you change the orientation, the flux will change. Okay, so having understood this, students, so in case of open surface, there is no unique, there is a unique direction which is perpendicular, but still we cannot decide it should be here or it should be here. So for open surface, it is, you can take whichever you want. But if it is closed surface, for closed surface, so let me take a simple closed surface. This is a simple closed surface, right? So for a closed surface, now if I ask where is the area vector of this surface, so now we have a way to distinguish. So what we do is, if it is closed surface, then area vector is always drawn outward. Outward. Okay, so for this surface it is here. What about this surface? Here. What about this surface? Tell me this side. Okay, so because here we can have a reason to say, it is outward from this volume. So whatever volume is there, area vector will be out of that. So area vector for closed surface will be always drawn out from that volume, whichever volume this closed surface will have. Closed surface will always have some volume, no students? So the area vector should be drawn out of that volume. Similarly, can you tell me area vector of this? Down. Area vector of this part will be here. Area vector of that back side will be that side. So this is how you can find area vector for different surfaces. And if it is closed, it is very easy to draw outward from the volume which it has enclosed. Okay, fine. So if you decide this, no, it becomes very easy. Okay, now we will come to a very before I start the next topic, let us do learning exercise, so that whatever we have learned we can make use of it. So see learning exercise 5, electric. Okay, learning exercise 5, let me write down. Learning exercise 5, question number 1. So what does it say? The electric flux through a plane surface in a uniform electric field is phi. So plane surface, uniform electric field. Let us assume like this. So right now they are saying flux is phi. Okay, so this flux is phi itself. Let me write the spelling. Okay, so flux is phi. Electric flux is phi. What will be the flux when the surface is flipped upside down? So if you flip it like this, ulta if you do. So right now let us say area vector is this. Where will be the area vector? Again, you have this is open now, so you can choose it wherever you want. So let us choose this side. This is the area vector. And this uniform electric field is shown by this black lines, right? Black lines. Black. Okay. So now, if I flip this like this, if I flip the surface, it will look like this only, no? If you flip it by 180 degree, electric field, we have not done anything. But where will be area vector now? Because you have chosen here, now you cannot change here, okay? You have chosen it already here, no? So when you flip it, area vector will be this side. So here they said flux is phi. So here what will be the flux? Here what will be the flux? Can you guess quickly? It will be minus phi. Why minus phi? Imagine this is EA cos theta. Cos theta here is 0. What was theta, students? Angle between electric field vector and area vector. This was your theta, no? So in this case your theta is 0 degree. But the moment you flip it, the surface, if you flip it, what will be the flux now? E is same, A is same, but angle will be now 180 degree. Why 180 degree? Because area vector is towards west, electric field is towards east in my diagram. So this will be how much? What is cos 180? Minus 1. So this will be minus 5. So here if the flux is phi, when you flip it, okay, they said upside down. So for upside down, the electric field should be drawn this way. So if I draw electric field lines like this, and this is my surface. Okay, so since it is open surface, you can choose area vector here, let's say right now. So this black arrow represents area vector, red arrows represent electric field vector. Now if you flip this upside down like this, then area vector will be down. Now the angle between them will be 180, like here. So the flux will become minus phi if it was phi before. If it was minus phi before, it will become plus phi. Okay, so I hope everybody understood. A simple question. Okay, let us see the next question now. Question number 2. So question number 2 says, a uniform electric field exists in a region directed along x-axis. So there is a uniform electric field along x-axis. So let us say this is your x-axis, and electric field they are saying is along x-axis. So electric field is in this direction. Okay, it is uniform means everywhere it is there. Okay, but I will show you only here. Okay, so you can draw lines if you want. So electric field is along x-axis. Now they are saying what is the flux through a plane surface parallel to xz plane and xy plane. So if this is your x-axis, your y-axis will be here, and z-axis will be here. So they are asking what will be the flux of this electric field, or you can say what will be the electric flux through which surface they are saying parallel to xz plane. So this is your xz plane. So through this plane they are asking. So this plane is your xz plane, and another one which they are saying xy plane. So xy plane will be this. This is your xy plane. So what will be the electric field they are asking? Okay. So electric field is along x-axis, remember. So for xz plane, let us start with this plane. So we need to know angle between area vector and electric field to calculate electric flux through any surface. EA cos theta, remember. So where is electric field along x-axis? Area vector for this surface. This is a surface, no? Plane is a surface, na? And for surface, how do you draw area vector? Perpendicular to the surface. So if you draw perpendicular to this surface, it is along which axis? Y-axis. So this is your area vector. So what is the angle between area vector and electric field vector? 90 degree. So here theta is 90 degree, since area vector is perpendicular to electric field vector. So what will be the electric flux? EA cos 90. What is EA cos 90? EA cos 90 is 0. Let me use, because of reflection, I think you are not able to see. So if the angle between area vector for this plane and electric field vector is 90 degree, then what is the formula for electric flux? EA cos theta. Here theta is 90, so cos 90. That will be how much? 0. Can you quickly tell me for this plane? For this plane, area vector will be, okay, so if you have written this, let me rub this part, okay. You can pause the video and write down. Okay, students, please write whatever you are learning. Okay, otherwise it is wastage of our time, not just my time, our time, your time also. So for this, the surface is where? Here, no? So area vector will be here, which is which axis? Z axis. So area vector will be this side. Area vector will be this side. So area vector is along Z axis, which is actually out of the board. This Z axis is out of the board. You know na, that X is here, Y is here, Z is here. So area vector is here, electric field vector is here. Again, what is the angle? 90 degree. So for xy plane, if you take this plane, then again angle is 90 degree. So again flux will be 0. Okay, so please remember that electric flux does not depend only on electric field and how much area it has. It also depends on the angle between area vector and electric field vector. So cos theta will be sitting there, so that will affect the flux. Okay. Let us see the next question now. Question number 3, I think. What is the significance of negative flux through a closed surface? So question number 3 says, what is the meaning? Significance means, no, in a way, significance means what is the meaning of it, physical meaning, or you can say use also, but significance here, it means what is the meaning of it. So if you have a closed surface, let's say like this. Last time I took a, let me take a sphere like this, okay? Not a circle, okay? Circle is not closed. Circle is a plane surface, no? So circle will be plane. Circle will be open surface, right? I want closed surface. Closed means you have to take sphere. So if this is your sphere, then for any part, small part if you choose, you know how to draw area vector, perpendicular. And here you have only one option, because it is closed surface, so you have to draw outward. Area vector should be drawn outward. Now, if your electric field is also, let's say like this. if electric field lines are coming out, then you can see what will be the flux through this small part, positive, no, EA cos 0. So flux will be positive. That means your lines are coming out from this closed surface. Okay, lines are coming out from this closed surface. So let us take one small surface here. Area vector will be this side. Yes or no? And your electric field lines, I told, are coming out like this. So if electric field lines are coming out from this inside, if they are coming out, then you can see everywhere, here also, flux will be positive. So when lines come out from a closed surface, we consider the flux to be positive. You understood, no? Here, very simple. Now you may be thinking, sir, how these lines are coming out? Maybe there is some positive charge here. If there is a positive charge inside, you know electric field lines will come out or not? Yes. Now for the same surface, okay, imagine lines are coming in the surface, into the surface. These are lines of electric field. Lines of electric field. It is coming in. So if it is coming in, then if you consider some area vector here and here. And how do you draw area vector? I told. For closed surface, there is no confusion. For closed surface, area vector is drawn perpendicular to we draw. See, area vector is perpendicular to the surface. For plane surface, whether closed surface, it doesn't matter. It is perpendicular to the surface which you have chosen. However, if it is plane surface, then it can be either here or it can be either here. But if it is closed, then we take it outward. Okay. So area vector here will be outward like this. Area vector here will be outward. So now if you calculate the flux through this closed surface, you can see here it is flux will be what? Area vector is this side, electric field vector is inside, so what will be flux? Negative. Here what will be flux? Negative. Understood? So like this you can show everywhere if you want. So when lines are going into the closed volume, if lines of electric field are going like this, okay, then sorry, here lines of electric field are coming out. So when lines of electric field go into the closed surface, then your flux will come negative as I have explained here. Okay students, that is because area vector for closed surface is always drawn outward from the surface, closed surface. Okay. So just to finish it off, let me just last one time explain you with the help of a diagram. So suppose I take some closed surface like this, and here also I take a closed surface like this. Okay. If lines are coming out from this surface somehow, how did you don't worry, maybe I have kept some positive charge inside, and here suppose lines are coming in, how, again don't worry, how can lines go into if there is negative charge here, we know already. But forget about that. Suppose lines are coming out here, coming in here, then here flux will be positive and here flux will be negative. Okay, that is because area vector here, if I show a small area, the area of this will be the, see this is a plane surface, no? So for this plane surface, where will be area vector, here or not? For this plane surface, where will be area vector, here or not? Area vector is drawn outward for a closed surface. Perpendicular to the surface, so you have to draw only. But if it is closed, you have to draw outward. So now if you check here, area vector and electric field vector are in same direction. So cos 0 will be 1, so positive flux. Here area vector is out, but electric field lines are going into the closed surface, right? So in that case flux is negative. So what is the answer for that question? Simple. When lines of electric field are into the closed surface, are directed into the closed surface. When lines of electric field are directed into the closed surface, then the flux through that closed surface is taken negative. Okay. Okay, so this we have understood now, significance of negative electric flux. Now we have to talk quickly about the question number 4. A uniform electric field, listen carefully, a uniform electric field exists along the axis of a cylinder whose cross-section area is A. What is the electric flux through one end of the cylinder? So they are saying there is a cylinder and one end has area A, they are saying. So if the radius was R, what will be the area? Pi R square. Okay, this is question number 4. Now they said there is a uniform electric field directed along the axis. Now axis means, you know, for a cylinder, this is the axis. Okay, a line passing through its center and perpendicular to its plane, this cross section like this, and coming out from here. So when cylinder rotates like this, we say this is the axis of rotation. Okay, so here this is the axis. So they told electric field is parallel to the axis. So this is your electric field everywhere. Since it is uniform, everywhere it will be same. Now this surface they want flux through this surface. So flux through one end of cylinder. One end of cylinder they want. Now if you look carefully, this is what kind of surface? Only this, okay, not the whole. They don't want flux through the whole cylinder. They want only flux through this surface. Okay, so for this surface, only if I ask, your flux will be E A. Why this formula I am using? Because this is a plane surface. So it is a plane surface. So E A cos of. Where is electric field? Along this axis. And area vector. How do you draw area vector? This is a closed volume, no? So outward. Here. So area vector is also along the axis. Electric field is also along the axis. So if both are along the axis, what is the angle between them? 0 degree. So what will be the flux? E into A. Okay, can you tell me what would be the flux through this surface? So this is the answer of the question. Okay, let me ask some extra question. Okay, what will be flux through this surface? Huh? Can you guess quickly? Where is the electric field? This way only. Everywhere electric field is uniform. Okay, they have already mentioned everywhere every electric field is uniform. Uniform means everywhere it is same in magnitude, in direction. So everywhere electric field is E. But area vector of this, how will you draw? Perpendicular to this surface and outward from this closed volume. So whenever there is a closed surface, there will be some volume inside. Yes or no? Area vector of any part of this should be drawn outward from that volume. So area vector of this part will be here. Okay, so then what is the angle? Area vector is here, electric field is here. Everywhere it is this side, no? So electric field you can see is 180 degrees. So it will be EA cos 180. That will be how much? Minus EA. So this is the flux through this surface. This is the flux through this surface in this question. Can you guess what will be the flux through this curved surface? This is also a surface, no? So for this surface, if I ask, take any surface here, this surface, small area, then where will be the area vector of this side or not? Yes or no, students? So area vector is this side. Electric field is along the axis. What is the angle? 90 degree. So flux through this part will be 0. What about flux through this part? Same thing. Area vector will be here. What about this part? What about this part here? This is a cylinder, no? So this part area vector will be this side. Understanding or not? So if I give you a cylinder like this, here area vector will be like this, perpendicular to the surface. Okay? If I give you like this, and here it will be outward like this. But for this surface, if I ask, it will be like this here. For this part here, for this part here, for this part it will be this side, for this part it will be back side. So for this curved surface, your area vector will be like this. And you can see all this area vector. So if I show you area vector of this closed surface, it will look like this. Like this. And no matter which area vector you see, all these area vectors are perpendicular to electric field, no? So electric field is here, na? Area vector of different parts will be like this. So you can see 90, 90, 90, 90, all are 90, no students? This is 90, this is not 90. Yeah? This is also 90 only. Say. Right? If I do like this, it is not 90. But this is 90, this is also 90. So each area here, each small area for this curved surface has area vector 90 degree with electric field. So if I ask flux through curved surface, it will be 0. Okay, so these two are extra which I did. Okay. So what will be the total flux through this cylinder if I ask? Total flux. Total flux, how you should find? Flux through this you add with flux through this plus flux through this. So flux through this is EA. Flux through this is minus EA. Flux through this part is 0. So total flux through cylinder will be how much? Total flux through cylinder, if somebody will ask, that will be 0 because EA minus EA plus 0. Okay, so I hope everybody enjoyed this. Okay, so this is a very nice concept of electric flux. So this completes your concept of electric flux application. Let me do some, some nice questions, something like this. Okay, so imagine, let me do some extra questions for entrance purpose. Okay, so imagine your electric field vector is this way, and that is equals to 2 I cap plus 3 j cap. This is your electric field. Since it is just number, it is uniform. But I did not write only I cap. That means it will have x component, y component. So it will be not along x-axis. If it was along x-axis, I would have written only 2 I cap. So this is your electric field and your surface is like this. Okay, so if this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis, this is your z-axis, then the surface is kept parallel to YZ plane. Okay, and area of the surface is, let's say, 10 meters square. So your question is find flux through the surface which is parallel to XY plane or XZ plane, sorry, YZ plane. So this surface I want. Okay, I hope all of you understood. See students, again I am telling you numerous times, whenever you want flux, you need to always measure flux through a surface. It may be open surface, it may be curved surface, I don't care. For open surface which is plane, directly we can write EA cos theta. For curved surface, what we do, we divide this into small parts. Then you know each part will be plane surface. Then use the formula for plane surface, integrate. Integrate matlab what? Add. Take summation. So for this is the surface, okay. So for this surface, where will be the area vector? Area vector will be here, right? Perpendicular to the surface. You can do there also, that is up to you, because this is not closed surface. So here you are free to choose wherever you want, but it should be perpendicular. Okay, don't forget. So perpendicular to this surface will be your area vector. Now we cannot write here directly EA cos theta because your E is not given as a number, but it is given as a vector form. X component, Y component, right? So here better to write A bar as a vector. Now A bar, what is the, see A bar, what is the magnitude they given? 10. And what is the direction? It is along x-axis, so I can write I cap. So this is your area vector, this is your electric field vector. So if I ask what is the flux through this surface, what was the formula? EA cos theta. But here we don't have any idea about theta. What is the angle between this area vector and this electric field? We don't know. So better to write this as E bar dot A bar. Okay, and I hope you remember dot product of two vectors. So A bar dot B bar. What is the formula? AX BX plus AY BY plus AZ BZ. So this is how you find dot product of two vectors. AX, AY, AZ are components of A bar. BX, BY, BZ are components of B bar. So AX, BX. Okay, so let us multiply. Let us take dot product. So EX, AX. What is EX? 2. What is AX? 10. So it will be 2 into 10 plus EY 3 Ay. There is no y component, so 0. So answer is 20. Unit of flux will be what? This is electric field, so Newton per Coulomb into area. Area is meter square. So that is the answer. Okay, I hope you understood how I did this calculation. Just take the x component of this vector, multiply with x component of this vector. So x component of this vector is 2, x component of this vector is 10 itself, because the whole vector is along x-axis. There is no y component for this area vector. Understood now? So when you multiply the y component, this will be 0. So if you multiply this 3 with 0, you get 0. Okay. So now we will be discussing the next topic, which is Gauss law, or sometimes it's called Gauss's law. Very, very important law, students. I cannot tell you how important is this law for board exams, for entrance exams, and just for physics sake, just for enjoying physics and understanding more, in order to solve more problems in physics. This topic is very, very important. Very, very important. Okay. So remember, we did some topics like electric field due to line charge at this point. Then we did ring charge at this point. Remember we did. Then I did for infinitely long line charge. Infinitely long line charge at this distance r. If you remember, I did not do the derivation for this. I did for this, I did for this, I did not do for this, because it was very complicated. To do the integration for this was very complicated. But there is a law called Gauss law. And this Gauss law will say, use me and find electric field here due to line charge very easily. So using Gauss law, we can find electric field due to different charge distribution. Of course, there are some conditions which we will be discussing later. But first, let us understand what is Gauss law. So you understood, right? What is the need of Gauss law? The need of Gauss law is to give you electric field due to different source charges. For point charge, why we need Gauss law? For point charge, we have used Coulomb's law already. But for line charge and for spherical charge also we have not done till now, right? Spherical charge we have not done, sheet of charge we have not done, sheet of charge. So all those can be done easily using Gauss law. So we don't need to do too much complicated integration. Okay. So today I will give you the statement. So and in next video probably we will do the applications of Gauss law. So the statement of Gauss law says, first try to remember, Gauss law is only applied for closed surfaces. Closed surfaces. So whenever you want to apply Gauss law, first you have to make a closed surface, and that closed surface is what we call Gaussian surface. What surface? Gaussian surface. So what this law says is, listen carefully, the net electric flux, okay. So we are talking electric flux, we know na, integral EdA cos theta. For plane surface, EA cos theta. Correct? No? Okay. So the net electric flux through a closed surface. So please remember, as I told you before, Gauss law is only applied for closed surface. So the net electric flux through a closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge within the closed surface, within the closed or inside the closed surface, inside the closed surface. That's it. So this is the statement of Gauss law. So what it says, repeat 5, 6 times, 10 times. See, in classroom usually I make you say this 2, 3 times, right? So here, even if I ask you, you will not say I know, but try to say 2, 3 times and remember. I will give you proof also, don't worry. But first try to understand. First try to memorize. So what is Gauss law? The net electric flux, so total electric flux through a closed surface. It could be sphere, it could be cylinder, it could be cube, but it can be rectangle. Rectangle is not closed surface. It cannot be circle. Okay. So the net electric flux through a closed surface is always equals to 1 by epsilon naught, which you already know, permittivity of vacuum, times the total charge which is inside the closed surface. So what if there is no charge? Then put 0 here. So mathematically if I write, then it says the net flux, what is the symbol for flux? Phi, through a closed surface, let me put closed here, is always equal to the total charge inside the closed surface. So this INS means the total charge inside the closed surface divided by epsilon naught. Why divided by epsilon naught? Because the statement says 1 by epsilon naught times. So this is the Gauss law. Okay. So, and this, how do we write? For this, we know this is, see, since it is a closed surface will always be having curve, right? It cannot be plane. No, it cannot be one plane surface. Of course, you can take many plane surface like a cube and make a closed surface. But everywhere, if even if you take cube, even you go from one surface to another surface, area vector will change, no? So if you take a cube like this, not cube, but if you take some closed surface, area vector of this will be this side. Let me show you here. For this part, it will be here. For this part, it will be here. So area vector will not be same for all the whole surface. It will be in different direction. Okay, so for closed surface, how do you find the net flux? E dA cos theta, right? So this is the flux through one small part, right? So you take one small part here like this and then calculate the flux through this part. Then what you do? You integrate to cover the whole surface. And since it is closed surface, we put a circle here. So this usually when you put integration, it means integrate. And when I put a circle here, it means the integration is done for a closed surface. And that is always equal to charge inside divided by epsilon naught. So this is the mathematical way of writing Gauss law. Quickly let me prove this. I will prove it in a simple way first. Okay, so first I will give you a very simple proof and then I will tell you, though I have proved it for a simple case, it is true for any case. I will prove it for a simple case, but it's true for any case. Okay, so proof. Look carefully. Proof of what? Proof of Gauss law. Proof of Gauss law. So let me take a point charge plus Q here. Okay, so I have taken a simplest kind of source charge, point charge. I did not take ring of charge, I did not take line charge. Okay, I took a point charge. Now, how will you draw electric field lines? Radially outwards. So these are your electric field lines. You must remember whatever has been done till now, okay? Otherwise, things will be confusing. Okay. Now, let me draw a closed surface because Gauss law is always applied for closed surface. Since we have to calculate, what is the statement of Gauss law? The net electric flux, it says. So flux is always calculated for through some surface, right? So let us consider a very simple closed surface. The simplest closed surface would be a sphere in this case. So I have taken a spherical surface which is also called Gaussian surface. Spherical Gaussian surface. Since Gauss was the one who did, we call it spherical Gaussian surface. And let's say this distance from here to the radius is r, let's say. Now, this is a sphere, okay? It will look like a circle. I know in diagram it will look like circle, but this is a sphere. I can't draw sphere, no? How will I draw this part? Now, what you do, I want to calculate flux through this closed surface. I want to calculate net flux through this closed surface. So let me take a small part first, this small part here. So this has an area BA. Where will be area vector? Perpendicular to this small part. No, this is the area, this is the surface. So area vector will be perpendicular like this. In one case I have shown you here. Remember, I made a sphere and for each part I made area vector. So area vector of this will be this side. So this will be your area vector. And electric field at that point will be also this side. These red lines represent what? Electric field lines. And that will be the same case here also. If I choose here, area vector will be this way, perpendicular to this part. Perpendicular to this part will be here. So at every point, area vector of a small part will be parallel to electric field vector. Yes or no? Everywhere, no matter where you choose on this closed surface, everywhere area vector and electric field vector will be parallel. So what will be the flux through this small part? E dA cos theta. What is theta here? Angle between these two is 0 degree. No, this area vector is also radially outwards because it should be perpendicular to this part of the sphere. Understanding or not? If you know school geometry, then you know perpendicular to a small part of a circle. Perpendicular to small part of a circle must be the radius. So area vector is perpendicular to this small part. So it must be along the radius because I have taken a sphere. So what is the flux through this small part? E dA cos theta. Formulas you have to remember. Then I have to integrate. So that is my net flux. That is my net flux through a what kind of surface? Closed surface. Okay. And I can write 0 because for every part it is 0. Now since for everywhere it is 0, I can write cos 0 here. Okay na? Okay. So now E, what was E at a distance r? This is point charge. For point charge we know the formula for E, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. Source charge and distance from source charge to observation point. That is the point where I made the surface. That is the point where I made the surface, right? So this distance is your distance between source charge and observation point. So substitute this E here. What will you get? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square, and this dA will be here. Cos 0 is 1. Cos 0 is 1. Now during this integration, constant can be taken outside. So what are the constant? And first, to know which are the constant, first you ask yourself how you should do the integration. You should do the integration this way. First calculate flux here, then calculate flux through this area, then calculate flux through this area, then this area, then this area. So you have to move through the whole surface like this. You have to cover each part of this spherical surface. Yes or no, students? So if you cover each part of this spherical surface like this, what remains constant? Does this q change when I go from here to here? Why it will change? Already it is q. For this surface also it is q. For this surface also it is q. So q is constant. 4 pi epsilon naught is constant. Does the radius change when I go from here to here? No. So r square also constant. What is left? Integration of dA. Correct now? Okay. Now this will be equal to q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square into what was dA, students? dA is the area of this small part. dA alone means magnitude of the area vector, and magnitude of area means whatever this small part has area, whatever area it may be. Now if you add this small area here, everywhere, and cover the whole surface of the sphere, what will you get? Total area. So this integral means total area of the sphere. And what is total surface area of the sphere? Quickly, 4 pi radius square. So this integration is nothing but 4 pi r square. Remember once I told you that one day area of sphere will come and 4 pi will cancel. On the first class I told why we write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So now you can see this 4 pi and 4 pi will cancel, this r square and r square will cancel. So net flux through the closed surface, net flux through the closed surface is equal to how much? Q divided by what is that? Epsilon naught. And what is Q? The charge which is inside. Correct or not? And what is this? What is this? This is the statement of Gauss law. So hence Gauss law is proved in a simple case I have done. I have not taken some very complicated charge. I took a point charge and I did not consider very complicated surface. I considered a simple spherical surface. So next class I will try to convince you that even if this surface was, you please take pause the video and write. Suppose this surface was not spherical. Suppose I take like this kind of closed surface. Then also Gauss law is valid. Then also Gauss law is valid. But then it would be difficult to prove this way because I was able to cancel this 4 pi and 4 pi because I took a sphere. But for this kind of surface also, I will show you next class. I will convince you that for this kind of surface also the result will be same. So this is what is Gauss law, student. This is the proof of Gauss law. So please understand something. Okay, I will stop the class, but before that understand something very basic. If I give you some box, so okay, it doesn't look like a box, some closed surface, okay, and I say inside there is a charge Q, then total flux through this surface, which measures what? The number of lines passing through that surface perpendicularly, right? So the total number of lines passing through this surface, which is nothing but total flux, depends only on the charge inside divided by epsilon naught. So that is the beauty of Gauss law. Once you know the charge inside, then you can easily find the total flux by simply writing charge inside divided by epsilon naught. No need to do all this integration to calculate the flux. Before we have to do integration, no integration of E dA cos theta. But now if you know Gauss law, to find the total flux through a what kind of surface but closed surface, just divide the total charge inside divided by epsilon naught. So next class we will see more. See you. Have a nice day.